All right, have and have not fans. Thanks to one of my most, I guess you could say, top followers, if you will. This video is about an episode title, which would have been the season 7 finale. Keep in mind, this is from Wikipedia. It had a list of episodes 1 through 7 in 2017. So we're going like way back, almost, well, I would say 3 years, but I don't know exactly when 2017 was. Let's just say 3 years ago. It's kind of further proof that it seemed like the haves and have-nots was originally going to end with season 7. And the episode title was called The Great Happy Endings, and there was no episode synopsis. And to be honest, that sounded like a good way to end the show, The Great Happy Endings. And to be honest here, sheesh, what kind of happy endings could have been happening in the original season 7? Perhaps, for Hannah and her family. Maybe, sheesh. It's hard to define happy endings because I get it. Like, you want people to, make amends and come back together. But when you have characters like Veronica and Jim Cryers, like, how can they be redeemed for everything that they've done? And yes, I know through Christ, all things are possible. But dang, looking at it from a human perspective is like, come on, God. It's like, I can see David now. It's like, let's say if Hannah and all of them take it to church like a Tyler Perry film. You know how those films end? They either at church or somebody comes to find Jesus at some point during the climax of the actual movie. It's like, well, Hannah, how does God expect me to forgive that woman after everything she's done to me and Jeffrey? I mean, I can't blame him. It's like, she blew up the car trying to take me and Erica both out. Everything she's done to Jeffrey, blackmailing and sending that Quincy over to beat him up, and she arranged for Maggie Day to be killed. And turns out I'm not Jeffrey's real father. And the list goes on. I mean, I really can't, excuse me, I really can't blame him. And it's like, forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean you get back together, when it comes to, and, I'm bringing this up again, what's today? It's been, what, 3 weeks since Kobe's passing? And just since then, I've just been, talking to people I haven't talked to in a while. And like some people, he didn't, I ain't hit up because, you just don't. Because some people, at the day and age we're in, like, if you ain't Facebook friends no more, usually ain't no need of hitting them up. But it's just like, for example, maybe things I'm not going to say went bad between me and someone else, but it's just like we just haven't talked in a while since that time, and just checking in, see how things are going. Some books are meant, once they're closed, you pretty much let them close. Like if they start to gather dust, there's no need to, open it up to reread a chapter. You know how it already plays out. Sure, you might want to dust it off from time to time to make it look clean, but at the end of the day, hey, that book wasn't your happy ending. But when it comes to, let's say, the dream theory, Catherine Cryer dreaming everything that's happened in the haves and the have-nots since season 1 when she went into surgery for breast cancer. If she wakes up, then she tries to make things better in her own life. That'll make sense because somebody pointed this out. It's like typically when you're dreaming, you don't dream the death of yourself. You dream like every other person's death. And typically like you wake up right before you're about to die, but you don't. But in any case, I think that'll be interesting. If she saw the worst of what would happen to both her children, to Veronica and David's marriage, to everything that's going on in Hannah's life, that would be a twist that I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm still tripping over the Catherine Cryer surviving not being shot, even though she was shot at and there's no wall damage behind her. But it's hard to tell what a happy end what would a happy ending look like, because so many of these characters, you can make the argument, well, Charles and Candace get together and Hannah and Derek get together. They pretty much, go over what happened and go from there. I completely understand Hannah, not wanting to have anything to do with Derek. I get that. But I think that a conversation wouldn't hurt. But again, this is not me downplaying what happened between those two, but it's like, after everything they've been through together for the past couple seasons, I think and I'm not saying Hannah owes Derek anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I think the conversation needs to be had, if that makes any sense. Kind of like Candace wanting to talk with her biological father. I think that Hannah and Derek should have a conversation. Once again, I'm not saying she should forgive him and they should get together, but I'm just saying, like, I think the conversation should be had given the fact that their daughter wants to know him. You know what I mean? So we'll just have to wait and see. Benny finally gets a job and moves out. I really don't see any. I mean, I would love to see him and Tony, interact and see. And for one, to see if Benny's actually a match for the kidney. That's the first thing. But also, if Candace can get to know her father, why can't Benny get to know his? Same with Jeffrey. If we ever meet this William, which we will during the back half of the season, and even though Veronica has a lot to answer for, I wouldn't mind her getting the professional help she needs. Wyatt the same way with his. I think Wyatt, and no offense, again, I just feel like Wyatt should just go away. Like, there's literally no reason for him to be there anymore. Celine and Jim's children getting the father figure. I mean, James, the youngest son, him getting the father figure in Jim. And Catherine just being happy. I mean, for what? But then again, she did murder the DA. So that's like, yeah, murdered someone. But in any case, guys, that's all I got for this video. An interesting title. I mean, it reminded me of what was the final episode of Good Times called Over the Rainbow, where JJ went into art school and Thelma's husband didn't he regain his position in the football because I think he had an injury, so he was out of commission for a while. And, they were able to take Florida with them to the new housing place they're going to, and it turns out, what's her face? Dang, Florida's best friend from down the hallway or on a different floor. She was going to move into the same building as well. So everybody got a happy ending at the end of it. So I think for the haves and the have-nots, something like that could have happened, but at the same time, it's like people have crimes they have to answer for, so we'll just have to wait and see. And Jeffrey finally getting his final credit and getting his degree so he can become a counselor, that kind of thing. That would be nice. All right, well, that's all I got for the video. Let me know your thoughts on what do you think the grand happy ending / finale for the haves and the have-nots would look like. Make sure you subscribe. Check me out on social media. Links are in the description below, and I'll catch you all in the next video.